The girl didn't know the full plan. She only knew someone DM'd her first. And it was not Kev. Someone else. They asked simple questions. Did you really see him? Would you be willing to call and set up a meeting again? We just need clarity. Money was mentioned. Not a lot, just enough. The two men in blue hoodies weren't detectives. This crew weren't random. They were DC hitters, contract killers and muscle. The kind of people you call when you don't want fingerprints in your own city. Pooh was already locked up. This was about exposure. When a hitter gets arrested, people panic. And somebody in DC believed Kev might be one of those loose ends. Not because he shot anything, but because he was asking too many questions. And people who ask questions become problems. Names didn't matter. Reputations did. They'd done work in Prince George's County, Southeast DC, once in Baltimore quietly. They stood outside the coffee shop watching traffic. One leaned against the brick wall. The other scanned every passing car. When Cav circled the block the second time, they clocked him. That's him, one muttered. Why he ain't parking? He feel it. The first one nodded slowly. Smart. They weren't there to shoot in broad daylight. That's messy. They were there to confirm. Face, car, and energy. Check to see if he looked nervous or guilty and likely to talk. When he kept driving, that told them he had instincts. Instincts make people harder to predict. Across the street, Detective Harris. Harris didn't recognize the hoodies at first, but he recognized posture. Not casual, not friendly, so still he snapped a few photos discreetly from the windshield. Zoomed in. One face pinged in his memory. Prior firearm charge. Case dismissed. Tied loosely to a crew near Barry Farms. Harris muttered under his breath. This ain't witness protection. This was something else. And now Cav was sitting in the middle of two investigations. Baltimore homicides, DC retaliation cleanup. Harris realized something chilling. Pooh might not be the only one in danger. Back in Baltimore, Kev parked outside his house, sat in the car longer than usual. Phone buzzed again. The girl, you think they were police? He typed, stopped. Deleted, typed again. Who are they? Her response took longer this time. They said they just wanted to make sure nobody was lying. That confirmed it. Nobody says that unless there's something to hide. DC later that night. The blue hoodies sat inside a dark SUV. Engine low. Orders, one asked. Not yet, the other said. We are watching. For who, him or the girl? Whoever moves wrong first, we are going to tear their ass up. Pause. You think Baltimore's gonna reach back? Always they drove off. But not before one sent a message. He didn't bite, might need a different angle. Holding cell. Pooh felt the shift without seeing it. The streets don't go quiet after arrests. They reorganize, if DC thinks he might talk. And if Baltimore thinks he crossed lines, pressure builds from both sides. And Kev going down there. That complicates everything. Because now if DC can't get to Pooh, they might go through the closest thing to him. Cav laying in bed wide awake, the hoodies. Then somebody wanted him in that parking lot for a reason. And next time they might not wait outside. DC, the girl. Lanny didn't sleep that night. The blue hoodies stopped answering her texts. The number that originally contacted her. Disconnected. She replayed the conversation in her head. Just make sure he shows up. Don't worry, it's just questions. We protecting the city. Protecting the city from what? From a college kid who played basketball. She opened Instagram. Kev hadn't blocked her. That almost made it worse. Then she saw the news again. Another article about the Barry Farms homicide. Same caliber mentioned. Same time frame. And suddenly it clicked. They weren't verifying a witness. They were identifying leverage. And she helped. Her stomach turned. She typed, I didn't know what they was planning. No response. Another message. You need to be careful. Still nothing. That's when fear set in. Because if they used her once, they could use her again. Or silence her. Baltimore holding cell phone window. Pooh finally got his one call. He didn't call a lawyer first. He called Taz. Taz stepped outside to answer. You good? Taz asked. I'm breathing, Pooh replied calmly. Silence. Then Pooh lowered his voice. Kev went to DC. Taz froze. How you know that? I hear things. That ain't safe. I know. Another pause. You gotta tell him stop moving alone. Pooh said he don't understand how this spread. Taz's jaw tightened. Spread how? Pooh didn't answer directly. DC don't like loose ends. You think they on him. If they think I might talk. You gonna? Pooh's voice hardened. No, then softer. But that don't matter to people who scare easy. The guard tapped the glass. Time almost up. Tell Kev, Pooh added, stay in the gym. Stay visible. Darkness is where mistakes happen. Click call over. Detective Harris and his quiet warning. Harris didn't knock on Cav's door. He caught him leaving the rec center. Alone. Walk with me, Harris said calmly. Cav stiffened but didn't run. They walked half a block in silence. You went to D.C. yesterday? Harris said. Not a question. Cav didn't answer. Harris sighed. I'm not here to jam you up. Then what? Cav asked. I'm here to tell you something off the record. That made Cav look at him. You're not the only one asking questions. Cav's chest tightened. About what? About whether you know more than you're saying. Whether you might talk. Cav swallowed. I ain't involved. I know, Harris said quietly. But perception moves faster than truth. A car rolled slowly past them. Harris watched it until it turned the corner. You keep driving to D.C. alone. Harris continued. You're either gonna end up in my back seat or somebody else's trunk. That landed heavy. I can't protect you from everything. Harris added, but I can tell you this: stay boring. Stay public and stop chasing witnesses. He stepped back. One more thing. Cav looked up. Your friend, he made choices, don't make his. Then Harris walked away. No cuffs, no threats. Just warning. Kev and Reg. Truth comes out. That night Cav went straight to Reg's house. No music, no jokes. I gotta tell you something, Cav said. Reg's smile faded immediately. What? Cav told him everything. The DM, Berry Farms, the second meeting. The hoodies, the car is circling, all of it. Reg paced the room. You serious? He muttered, they tried to line you. I think so. You think or you know. Cav hesitated. That's the problem. I don't know nothing for sure anymore. Reg stopped pacing. What you wanna do? Cav looked at him not as teammates. As brothers, I need help. That was hard for him to say. Help how? Reg asked. Staying straight, staying focused. And if something move weird, I can't be alone. Reg nodded slowly. We don't move solo no more. Silence, then Reg added quietly. If Pooh is really deep like that, this ain't just about him. I know, Cav said, and that was the heaviest part. Because now they understood. Pooh wasn't just fighting charges. DC wasn't just cleaning up. Detective Harris wasn't just building a case. The cities were watching. And Cav, the golden ticket, the scholarship, the 62-point MVP, was no longer invisible. Lanny deleting messages. Pooh staring at a concrete wall. Harris reviewing photos of blue hoodies. Reg loading up gym bags for a 6 a.m. workout. And Cav lying awake, realizing something simple and terrifying. Basketball used to be the way out. Now it's the only thing keeping him alive. The call. It came at 10:14 a.m. Taz looked at the screen. Unknown number, area code 443. He answered casually. Hello, is this Taz Williams? Yes, sir. This is Coach Reynolds from Morgan State University. Taz stood up immediately. Yes, sir. His voice changed. Respectful, focused, hopeful. There was a pause on the other end. I'll get straight to it, Coach Reynolds said. We've been informed about the situation surrounding your friend. Taz's stomach tightened. Informed how? He asked carefully. Detective Harris paid us a visit. That hit harder than anything. Harris move. Harris didn't accuse, he didn't demand it. He simply told the coaching staff, there's an active investigation tied to individuals close to one of your recruits. I'm not saying he's involved. I am saying he's adjacent. Adjacent. That word carries weight in compliance offices. Scholarship committees don't like adjacency. Back to the call. What exactly are you saying, Coach? Taz asked. I'm saying, Reynolds replied, calm but firm, we still believe in the talent. All of you, but this program can't afford headlines tying two homicides investigations. Taz stayed quiet. We're offering conditional scholarships. The coach continued. Conditional how? Immediate compliance meetings. Curfew agreement. Mandatory check-ins. No association with known suspects. Zero tolerance policy. And if anything new surfaces link you to obstruction or interference, the offers are rescinded. Taz felt the air leave his lungs. And Kev, he asked. He's the centerpiece, which means he's under the brightest light. Another pause. You boys want out of the city. Coach Reynolds said. Then you have to start acting like you're already gone. Taz calls Kev. Kev answered on the first ring. What's up? They put conditions on it. Silence. What kind? Everything is kind. Taz explained it all. The compliance, the curfew, the no contact clause. Kev stopped him at one point. No contact with who? Pooh, Taz said quietly. That word sat heavy between them. That's not fair, Cav muttered. Fair ain't part of this. Reg in the room. Reg listened as Cav put the call on speaker. So what if we don't sign it? Reg asked. Then they move on, Taz replied. There's always another guard. Cav stared at the wall. He dropped 62 in DC. One MVP had scouts buzzing. And now his future hinged on distancing himself from someone who once protected him.